All right, join with me as Vallyflyin. We're going to talk about ISO-8 being delayed. Yay! I don't know, man. Everybody on Reddit is pretty thrilled about ISO-8 being delayed. And we're going to talk about Ultima 7 and the connection with that, perhaps. Conspiracy theory.
Wait, should I put my tinfoil hat on for this one?
And we're going to play...
I'll leave it off, but pretend it's on.
Yeah, it's because it's funny. When we started recording this video, I was singing a song about like how much I love timing out and U7 and how much I love spending cores on Minerva. And I was singing a song.
Reviving Minerva all the time.
Yeah, and you couldn't stop laughing. And I was just like, oh my God, I don't know why I'm not recording this because I was just
Then we tried to recreate it. It just wasn't working.
And I don't know how the song went, but it was just me singing about it.
It was very funny. It was very funny.
Yeah.
It is never be replayed and never recorded.
Yes.
But,
so we're going to talk about that. U7's a hassle, man. It's like I'm probably spending an hour, like 5 times 5 minutes is 25 minutes, right? Twice a day.
At the minimum,
yeah,
and then you get other refreshes.
So, and then there's other raids. So it's like, it seems like it's taking like 50 minutes a day for U7. So, but anyways, ISO-8 is delayed and we're going to talk about this and just going to talk about the community sentiment on this. And basically what it says is that they weren't happy with the way that it was going to turn out. And I interpreted that as that they... weren't able to find a good monetization. No, I don't know, right? Like
there was a lot of negative feedback.
Oh my God!
I don't know if you looked at that chat, but there's a lot of negative feedback. About
we both
ISO-8.
read the chat. It was nothing. There was very few and far anything good to say about it. I mean,
it was all whales too that were very unhappy with it. So
yeah. Another thing too, and this is my conspiracy theory, is that
Oh, here we go.
My conspiracy theory is that possibly, I'm going to say possibly, a lot of people are spending cores currently on U7. I know I am from time to time. Are you spending cores from time to time to refresh characters?
Allegedly, there are a lot of people that spend cores on Ultima 7. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to say that being that it probably needs more time, being that the feedback was negative, being that they maybe couldn't figure out how the way to do it, but also that because U7 is probably profitable for them right now, and it's challenging, right? Why do it now when they can delay it and do it correctly? And I think it has something to do with U7, in my opinion. Do you think it has something to do with U7 or not?
I think it may. I think it seems like it was designed for ISO-8. People are struggling with the content now, and they're kind of getting complacent at 30%, maybe 60%. And they're like, hey, let's make more money. It does make sense. It does make sense, and it does seem in line with a few things they've done in the past. So I'd say I don't even know if we need to put our tinfoil hats on for this one.
Right. And I want to
it's pretty likely.
I want to address some of the comments in the Reddit thread. Is like, if this turns into future fight, I'm out. I don't feel like spending my time trying to hunt down and manage 400 different types of gears, ISOs, fragments, etc., etc. This is something that you and I were in a conversation with a developer when we were back in LA. Remember, we talked about this specifically, and it was his intention to not make this a endless time sink like it is currently in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah, I mean, that was the big concern that all of us had when we first saw this is, oh no, how we're going to manage this stuff? Is there going to be an API that we can manage this outside of the game? Is there going to be a good system that we can manage this in the game? And a lot of those questions weren't answered, and we'll have to see what it is, because it is a time sink.
Yeah, it is a time sink. Moving mods around in Galaxy of Heroes is not fun. I personally like the customization of ISO-8 and mods, and the idea appeals to me greatly, but I don't want to do it at the expense of a lot of time. And then the other concern that's coming up here in Reddit is that it's going to be expensive. I personally assumed that it's going to be expensive, and that's just the way it was going to be. If it's anything like Red Stars, I don't have any reason to think that it's not going to be expensive. What is your thoughts about that?
Jeez. Yeah, they're gonna tax the crap out of it if you want to keep up in the game. It only makes sense, and it is aligned with things they've done in the past. I'm actually more concerned with the time sink that it might bring to the game. And I think that's where a lot of the negative sentiment on Reddit is coming from. Is just this game, you mentioned hour a day for Ultimate 7. Nothing else,
we're
just
gonna go
Ultimate
in and
7.
do that. In fact, we're gonna start
Betas,
because I'm running out of time.
Arena,
and this guy says, I'm glad everything is overpriced. If offer is cheap, more people will purchase, and I have to spend to keep up. Instead, I get to play this game for free. I think that's kind of a weird argument, but he's not wrong. I mean, if everything was $5, then the people that spent $5 would have a huge advantage. But to get a huge advantage over someone, you have to spend a lot of money in this game, right?
In this game, yes. There's another game I play that you don't have to spend as much money,
right?
But, and I do find myself spending more money on that game than
And so the game he's talking about is Dragon Champions. Links in the description. It does help support this channel. And on that game there, you could spend $5 and get a lot of gold and
get a lot of value.
Yeah, and my feeling is that the free-to-play player that chooses not to spend is actually at a severe disadvantage over the guy that's willing to spend $5. In this game, you don't get anything for $5. You have to spend like $100. And so
you can get 100 power cores.
I prefer the other business model, frankly. I'm just gonna be.
I do too.
Because I'm a moderate spender. Like I don't want to spend $100 on anything. Like the other person's like a macro transaction or anything like that. And then I just want to say this: that most people in this Reddit right here have this sentiment right here: postpone it indefinitely. I don't agree with that myself. I prefer if they added something new to the game. I don't know if ISO-8 is necessarily the thing that I would prefer, but just blanket, like not wanting something to come to the game that because of a bad experience in another game is not really fair, given that they're actually asking for help. And I'm going to go with making it run well. Now, I'm going to go into Ultimate 7, and we are in the same guild. We're both struggling like constantly with this, right?
Oh, yeah. I just did a node as before we recorded this.
Oh, yeah.
It was tough.
Okay, so
I timed out.
I will time out, so I'm going to play this manually. I've already burned through my Invisible Woman. I've already burned through my Phoenix. I've already burned through my Captain Marvel. I've already burned through my Falcon. So this is like
everybody's gone
deep on my bench. And
this is not that bad of a team.
No, this is a good team.
That's
and
a pretty good team.
This is the third boss node. So talk to me about characters that you're using in Ultimate 7 and what T4s you're currently looking at.
Pretty much the same as you, but one addition I would make to that is Groot. I use Groot a lot. I like the death proof, the defense up. I like his little removing a few of the buffs. But one character that I really want to work on, just seeing how good she is in your roster and what you've told me is Scientist Supreme.
Okay.
I haven't really worked on her. I'm thinking that will be my next T4, possibly. There's a few other suspects there, but definitely want to at least build her up.
I just want to point out something that just happened right now, is that Shuri had the passive, and she was able to put defense proof, defense up right now. And you can see that before I even get to go, my team is getting wiped out, right? And
so happens sometimes in these raids.
And so having that passive of on Shuri to put the defense up is kind of important. And I'm afraid that I'm in a situation where it's not going to matter much anyways. I mean, so here's the thing is like, this is going to go off and there's going to be slight heals. And look at that. The whole team is just going off right now, right? And the thing is that right now, I only have 3 negative status effects, but if I had 4 negative status effects, that'd be a problem. And so having the T4 on Scientist Supreme's passive is also or her middle ability is kind of important. So, I mean, if I can, so here's the thing is I finally got Ultron up and running, and then I can flip the buffs up, and now I'm in a good position. I mean, this is like, this is autoplay time. This is where I get, because I can't manually play this all day long. I mean, it just takes forever, right? Like you just run out of energy. But usually I sit on it until then I throw it on autoplay, and then maybe I'll move the targets around to whatever has like the most amount of problems. You can see that wasn't very effective right there. Scientist Supreme, doubling down. But I'll just go and target the ones with defense down and just see how it goes. And hopefully what's going to happen is when I get close to the 1 minute mark, I'll slow down and I'll try to make sure that Ultron is not stuck with no energy. That's all I do, and this is all I do in Ultimus.
Maybe I should do your strategy. I've been playing all of these every single day and just not been having the time for it. So maybe I should do more autoplay and build up more.
Oh yeah,
a
it's
deeper
all about
roster of these
autoplay.
Ultimate 7 characters.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you can see that we're in a weird position right here, and then I'm gonna look really silly if I die right here. But oh well, you know what I mean? I definitely need. Oh my goodness!
That was horrible. Oh,
Me.
what the? Whoa, that's the AI did not choose that correctly. All right. Decent damage though, right?
This game. This game.
How much damage did you put?
I don't know, but don't put it on autoplay. Don't listen to me. Don't do anything I just said right now. I guess that it's just so much time.
It sounded so good. It sounded so enticing. Maybe it's on some of the easier nodes. It'll be better, but
I can't believe we recorded this.
No, leave this in. Leave this in. You should title this thumbnail "What Not to Do in Ultimate 7."
Don't do this at all. It
started off good though. It started off good. When you were playing it was good. When you're playing it was good.
Now it's like, oh my god. That's the problem is like, dude, I've already gone through like almost an hour in Ultimate 7 today. Between it's like I don't want to do any more time, and that strategy actually works down here. But I guess it doesn't work up here, and that's that. So my run is done. That's it. My run's done.
That's pretty impressive, though. That was the third boss. Right?
I can't believe I just did that on a video. All right, go check out Vallyflyin. Goodbye.